And hey there guys, how's it going? It's me, Mikey Perion, and welcome back to our episodes here in the iCraft server, and it's episode 48, and now, currently, we're actually here in our, we actually so-called the Ocean City, so I think I probably have shown this during the last episode, but not in too much detail. So now, well, I didn't actually expect that I'm going to start in this project, and I actually mostly done this off-cam, so probably, during the time I've shown this in our episodes, this is still a forest, and, well, I think the road is already there, but, well, we also have added a couple of, markings for the road, but, of course, we're gonna continue working on these sections right over here, so most likely again in the form of a time lapse again because most of our building stuff are actually always, well, I think most of the time, yes, we're doing them in the form of time lapse because I think I'm more comfortable doing those though. But anyhow, alright, so basically, well, the purpose of this area right over here, this Ocean City, well, including this section right over here, but this section right over here is going to be worked by other people. Like for example, this one is going to be for Luki and other places. This one is going to be for Lanes and Beaver and Dano, and of course this area right over here is going to be our area for the next group activity, which is going to be in 2 weeks from now. So basically, this entire district right over here is going to be called Ocean City, which is mostly about, well, something aquatic, you know. So our project here is actually somehow will gonna be inspired, something Miamish thing, if that's actually a term. But basically, what we're planning here is to implement some sort of like Art Deco architectural style, which is actually popular during somehow, I think that was 1940s, 1950s, up to 1970s, something like that. So most likely, of course, this is going to be still a classical architectural style, but not too classical like Victorian, because Victorian are like during the 19th century, but this one is going to be already in the 20th century, which is 1950s, something like I mentioned, you know. But anyhow, of course, I already have done a lot of terraforming and as well as, of course, layouting. So just to show you guys on the bird's eye view on how this is actually looks like. So, well, since this is going to be some sort of like a tropical paradise, which is somehow similar to Miami, so basically on this section right over here is going to be a shoreline or a beach. So something like that. Of course, we're gonna try to terraform this, make it look nicer and more some sort of like suitable for swimming, right? Because we don't want, people drowning. Well, we already have some conduits though, but of course in reality, most of the beach resorts have some sort of like a shoreline where people can actually swim safely, also away from the sharks and stuff. So basically, of course, that's actually our plan on this shoreline right over here. And of course, this section right over here is going to be the beach. So, well, we're not gonna decorate that much this area right over here because that's also going to be part of the group activity. Some people are also planning to build something on the shoreline, some sort of like tropical bars and restos, some sort of like those stuff, some shops probably. And of course, on this section right over here, well, of course, we're also not gonna work on this one for this episode, except for the roads. Of course, we also already need to establish the road right over here, which is also going to be part of our Grand Prix project. So, well, in the future, once we have started the event for the Grand Prix or Horse Grand Prix, well, we don't have any cars here in Minecraft. Of course, the racers will also gonna pass by these district right over here in the Ocean City. But anyhow, of course, well, I'm really excited to start this project. Of course, I'm also going to do this in the form of a time lapse. But without further ado, well, let's get started, right? And we're finally done, and I guess we're already prepared for our group activity for, well, it's going to be already next week because, well, I did this time lapse for a 2 week span. Well, that intro was actually recorded 2 weeks ago. So now, well, the reason behind that is because I've been quite busy for the last couple of days, and I didn't actually have time to work on this one, especially I'm actually away from my desktop. But I did a couple of things around our town center, specifically on the road project. So later on, I'm also gonna try to explain that. I guess I already have give you guys an overview on what we're actually, gonna the purpose of those roads that we're actually trying to make here. So basically, well, some people already have started making some builds around. Well, everyone is actually excited for the next group event, but of course, I don't want to spoil those stuff. But for our project, well, we are actually going to try to work on this area right over here, which is I'm also planning to build a statue. But of course, that's for you guys to find out on the next episode, on the actual group activity that we are actually going to have in iCraft, right? But anyhow, so this is how it looks like, and like I said on the back side right over here, this is where we are going to build the Art Deco Miami style city, which is probably on this section right over here. Well, I already have claimed this area right over here, which is well, we always have the premium plots or real estate around the server, but of course, well, we're planning to build here some sort of like a hotel. So basically, that hotel is gonna be a non-profit hotel. So everyone, I mean, every iCrafter can actually stay in this hotel that we're gonna try to build here, but that's not probably on the next episode. So like I said, on the next episode we are going to join the group activity. Hopefully I can finish that, and it's gonna be a massive project, I think, but hopefully well, I'm gonna try to do some time management and some preparation even just to accomplish the timeline that we are actually, well, I guess because it's actually a group activity, so we only have 1 day probably. So well, we're just gonna think about that later. But anyhow, so of course I also wanted to show you guys, well, this is actually the map, but I also wanted to show you on how this road will gonna lead us, because we actually have made a lot of progress in terms of like the the road project. But let us lead first, so at least well, we'll just avoid those mobs. But anyhow, well, yeah, so probably it's the best if we're gonna use the horse, because, well, one of the reasons why I wanted this road project is, number one, to at least have some sort of like an experience having a road trip around the server. So this road is going to be somehow, well, like I said probably a couple of episodes ago, we're trying to interconnect all of the projects around the city. So basically, this one, I think I already have shown you guys this this stretch right over here. I think during the last episode. But on the other side, well, we also have made a couple of progresses. So this side right over here is actually going to the town center. Well, this is also going to the town center, but this one will actually lead us going to the desert, which is on the east side of the town center, which is partially, well, we're also gonna pass by Astro's base, and as well as Luki's base, which is actually the western district. So basically, yeah, this road is actually new. Well, Beaver and Tridep actually helped me on this one, and we also have Stretch on the section right over here, which is actually this direction is going to the desert area that I've been mentioning. So yeah, so this one is actually Koi's base, and right over there is actually the Shrine of Azura, which is actually one of the most daring, or most how to describe it, but most audacious project that we have done here in the server. But anyhow, so of course, on the side right over here is actually the town center. So let's get to the town center, because I wanted to show you guys what's the actual plan for this road. So most likely I'm just gonna do this off cam, and from time to time I'm also gonna show you guys the progresses on I mean the developments on this this road thingy project. So basically, I already have mentioned during the last 2 episodes. So I can't remember anyway. So basically, we are going to use this for a horse race, and yeah, the lag. So we are going to use this for a horse race activity, which is well, man, I've lost my parking here. I don't know where it went though. But we got a parking in the Builders Depot shop that we have here. So let's park our horse because I don't want to lose this, because this is our only horse here in the town center, and I'm not sure where my other horses went. So yeah, I have a reserve parking here together with the cars that we have on this side. But anyhow, so let's get there. So basically, that's the experience of the road trip. Because well, as much as possible, we're gonna try to stretch these roads. So yeah, so we got a new map room right over here. Well, this is not yet, well, actually Luukzilla work on this map room, but of course we'll still gonna work on stretching out these maps, because this is already a big area, right? I mean, this is so far what we have accomplished for season 5. And what I'm trying to say here is that these road connections, well, this is the one from our business district, which we have done this a couple of months ago, probably 6 months ago. And this one is actually the Hyperion Industries. And these are new roads. So basically, these roads will actually stretch all over our central town. So what we're planning here is to have this road which we have passed by earlier. So this one will actually stretch on this desert area right over here, and it will go down here to connect to this section right over here. So I didn't actually meant to punch that map. So yeah, all right, so we're gonna try to connect this road right over here going to this section right over here, which is actually connected to our Hyperion Industries, because on this Hyperion Industries is well, it's we used to plan this to become our base, used to be, but what I'm thinking now is to actually build some sort of like a stadium right over here, some sort of like a racetrack. So since we're going to have the Grand Horse Spree, so I think this is the best area where we are going to have the start and the finish of the race. So basically, of course, what we're planning is to link up, or this is going to be the course of the track. So they will go to the bridge right over here, they will go around somewhere here in the business district, and they will use the road going up here leading to the, well, I also forgot to mention that we also have changed the name of this place. So it's not anymore called the Ocean City, it's now called the Bamboo Bay. So we actually have decided that, well, it's actually a good name to call this place the Bamboo Bay, because there's actually quite a few bamboo forests around this area right over here. So basically, the course will actually pass through these section right over here, or this district, and then this road right over here will actually stretch up to this area right over here. Well, what we're planning is to have some sort of like a road going to this direction, and then it will be diagonal to be aligned on this section right over here, somewhere here, and then it will pass by this pathway right over here, and then on this section right over here, which is actually adjacent to the river, we are going to have some sort of like an intersection right over here, which is actually we're planning to build a highway. So it's not only gonna be a 2-lane road, but on this section going to the north, it's actually going to be a highway, which is a 4-lane road, which will actually lead us going to the spawn. So, well, I guess we're still like 1,000 block away from this area right over here going to the spot, which is still a lot of work to do. So from this intersection, we'll also gonna have a road linking down here, which will also connect to the road that we're actually trying to build here. So from there, well, so the course will be going here, so so if we're actually able to finish the highway going to the spawn, they will go, the course, the race course will actually go to the spawn and then go back here, turning around here, and then of course the road that we're actually continuing to build on this section right over here, and then going back to the Hyperion Industries. So basically that's the plan. And aside from that, well, Beaver and I was also thinking if this area right over here is actually the Halloween town. So what we're thinking is to have some sort of like also a connection probably somewhere here. So we're just gonna plan that out soon, but not for now. Of course, we still got plenty of projects at hand. So basically on the next episode, we are going to try to work on, of course, on our group activity in the Bamboo Bay. So this is now called Bamboo Bay. And of course, off cam, I'm also gonna try to work on these roads. Of course, this is a lot of work to do, and probably, of course, I should say that It's not really, an episode material because it's really boring to work on though. But anyhow, so I guess, well, of course, I think this is the only time that I got for this episode because it already has been 2 weeks since I recorded the intro. But anyhow, of course, well, so thank you for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment, please leave a like, and make sure to subscribe, of course, to me, to Mikey Perion. And well, I'll see you guys again next week.